So there are a large number of academic students and Rangeland professionals that need to be taught how to collect, manage, and use monitoring data. However, instructors are rarely receive any formal training on how to teach and instead develop teaching skills in an ad hoc manner. So today I'd like to provide guidance on how to teach monitoring courses based on our collective experience teaching both academic and professional courses. So we've developed a 5-step process called the cadet model, and it gives you instructions on first how to develop course content, how to determine who your audience is, how to select suitable materials and delivery methods, how to develop evaluation metrics for student learning, and then finally how to teach future instructors. So of course, I'm going to go through these 5 steps very briefly, and you can find more information in the manuscript. So the first step is determining the course content, and you need to figure out what are the monitoring knowledge and skills that the students need, and then set your appropriate course objectives. So in a monitoring course, you might think of there being 3 different components to a course, which is planning and design, data collection and management, and data analysis and use. Now, many instructors will focus mostly on the data collection and management, and some focus solely on this portion, but we really do encourage instructors to include material from planning and design. As Nelson pointed out, it's really important, and then the data analysis and use. And this provides the students with an entire picture of the monitoring process, which should increase data quality. So the second step is figuring out who you're teaching to. So get to know your students. So students will have different educational backgrounds. They might be currently working on a degree. They may have gotten their degree 10 years ago. They may have work experience. They may have none at all. And while this is going to somewhat depend whether or not you are teaching an academic or a professional course, there's still a lot of variation within a classroom. And in addition to the variation in backgrounds, they also learn differently. So students have different preferences for how they learn. And so there's a lot of techniques that you can use to tailor towards those different learning styles. So one of the things that I do when I teach my courses is I do a student survey at the beginning of the course to get an idea of their backgrounds and to help tailor the course. The third step is delivery. And to match the diversity in the student backgrounds and learning styles, instructors should use a variety of materials, platforms, and teaching styles. So this is certainly going to depend on whether or not you're teaching an in-person, online, or a hybrid class. But as you can see down here, you can have variation using online, classroom, and field types of modalities. We also emphasize active learning, which is obvious in the field component of a monitoring course. But you can also include other active learning techniques in the classroom and online to keep those students engaged. And then lastly, we encourage everyone to use standard monitoring protocols in these monitoring courses so we can contribute to national and international data sets with comparable data. The fourth step is assessing student learning. And so there's various levels of understanding that students have, and we have used Bloom's taxonomy to develop levels of understanding that are specific to a monitoring course. And it's important to evaluate students frequently throughout the course, as well as do your final evaluations to ensure that you've met the course outcomes. And one of the most important evaluation exercises in a monitoring course are calibration exercises to make sure that you're getting consistent data collection among those observers. And then finally, while this applies more so to professional courses, there are numerous technicians that need to be taught how to do monitoring, and we're often limited by instructors. So it's really important to set up what we call train the trainer courses, which will make sure we have qualified instructors to ensure data quality and consistency again. And these train the trainer courses really can mostly mirror the training courses that they actually will teach. But we also encourage you to include material based on the cadet model, but minus the T here, so that those future instructors think about what's my course content, who's my audience, how am I going to deliver this, and how do I evaluate student learning. And so in this manuscript, we share the tips and tricks that we learned through trial and error along the way. And I'd just like to thank all the students who were kind of guinea pigs in this and fellow instructors for helping us form this guidance.